Kasa podcast. Today we're going to be discussing something very important. Today we're going to be talking about opening up. It's a very key part, a very integral part of, keeping a sane mental health. And today the tribe is going to have a conversation about how we find people we can confide in, people we talk to, how to talk to them, and some of the things we need to know, like in looking for this person you're going to be opening up to. Today, I have two of my favorite tribe members in the house. I know you guys can guess who the first one is, but the second one has been playing hide and seek with me for a long time. Finally, I have Efia and Chris in the house. Guys, how you guys doing?
We are doing good. We are doing good.
AY,
Are doing well. Kojo,
my
Kojo.
AY. Efia,
Yes,
how you doing?
yes. I think I'm doing well. I'm doing fine.
For some time now, it's been AY and I. Chris has been away writing an exam.
Yeah.
Finally finished the semester. Chris, how was your semester?
Oh, the semester it went very well. Very, very well. It was great.
You
Yeah.
nailed it. Straight
Yeah.
A's again.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
this boy to give me pressure. This boy to give
Pressure.
me pressure. But given that you are so, you're excelling in school and all that, I know in the course of the semester things get tough. Sometimes you need to talk to someone. Sometimes you need to, open up to someone. Do you have someone personally in your life that you talk to? Someone
Oh,
you open
yeah.
up to?
I don't have just one person. I have like multiple people I talk to
Hey,
about different
hey,
things. Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
hey, really?
Yep,
Multiple
yep.
people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Um, we would get into the multiple people. Yeah, I just got a question. Rashid, what's happening with my specs? My specs are here. These days, I've been trying to do the show without my specs because people say they want to see my eyes. And when I hide it behind my glasses, people don't get to see my eyes. So, Rashid, I took the glasses off so that people could see my eyes. But from time to time, I'll be bringing it on as and when I need it. Evia, do you
Kojo.
also have someone you talk to? Do you have someone
Oh,
you open up to?
obviously,
Try.
yes. I have
Try.
I have a couple of people I talk to.
Hey.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
when things get tough, you need to talk to someone to get
Mm-hmm.
things straight.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yes, I do. I do.
So, given that you guys have people you talk to, I believe then you guys know the importance of opening up to someone and
Mhm.
how healthy it can be. If you're why, what are some of the reasons you talk to someone?
Um, I mean, just to get it off my chest,
Mm-hmm.
mainly
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like if I don't talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna be. I'm just gonna have. I'll be worrying myself,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and sometimes to just see if someone could help me with a solution.
Something.
Yeah, something
Mm.
help me go through it
Mm-hmm.
together. Even
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have a solution, like someone just to listen to me, I
Yeah.
feel
Mm-hmm.
you feel safe. That's why mostly I share.
I bet Chris also has reasons. Chris, what's your reason? What's
Oh,
your
yeah.
reason for?
I side with the fear. The first reason is obviously getting it off your chest.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
getting the burden off you. And
Mm-hmm.
second, you might get some answers or get some solutions to your like
Mhm.
whatever you're
Yeah.
going through.
Guys, if you're listening to us, if you're on the live show, let us know if you have someone you talk to. If you have people you talk to in your life, why you talk to them. Just leave a comment in the comment section. We want to hear from you because it's one of those shows. Today is going to be one of those shows where we're going to do the show together. We want to know about your condition, where you approach things, the way you see things, as much as we want to tell you how we see things. So, guys, you have people, and I think you guys mentioned it helps you sort of get through it.
But what's your reason if you actually open up? Why do you open up?
I open up to people, and for me, it does a lot of things. It helps me, like you guys, get things off my chest, help me think through things. Mainly, thinking through things is one of the reasons I talk to someone. Sometimes, while I try to relay whatever I'm going through to someone, I sort of begin to see things differently. Sometimes, you think about something, you're in your head, you're living in your head, you're in that space where it looks like it's a very big issue. Then you're like trying to relate it to someone, and as you spell out the details, as you read it out to them, as you tell people what exactly you're going through, sort of it makes you begin to see things differently. It makes you begin to see the situation differently. And for me, sometimes it even helps with the finding the solution, right? It
Yeah.
helps me in finding solutions to whatever I'm going through when I begin to talk to someone. So I do have people I talk to. And I mean, Ifya and Chris, I mean, the tribe is one of my cliques where I talk to people. And
Yeah.
even on the show, sometimes I come and I open up on here and I talk to people through the show, and it helps me see things. It helps me see the different angles. It helps me begin to sort of find solutions. So that's the why. That's the why. But
Okay.
now I want to get into another question. That's as important as the why, the who. Who do we talk to? What are some of the things we look for in the person we're going to be opening up to? Guys, again, if you're if you're on the live stream, let us know. Go into the comment section. Let us know who you talk to. Why do you talk to them? How do you get to the who? Chris.
Yeah.
Who?
I mean, when this topic came out, I
Mhm.
tried to go through,
Mhm.
instances where I opened up to
Mhm.
people,
Mhm.
and I realized there were 3 different situations where you open up to people.
Mhm.
So the first situation is
Mhm.
a one-time person, like opening
Mhm.
up to someone you didn't know you were going to open up to. It just
Mhm.
happened.
Mhm.
Maybe in the moment you felt safe around the person,
Mm.
and then you
Mm.
just decided to. For that one, I mean, definitely you are not looking for answers, but you just want to get the thing off your chest.
Mhm.
It's like a one-time thing.
Mm.
You will
Yeah.
just open up to the person.
Mhm.
The second situation is someone opens up to you,
Mhm.
and then it requires that you
You
also open up to the
open up
person.
to them. Mm.
It's
Mm.
required.
Yes.
Mm.
No, not
Okay.
required. It's not required, but that situation
It's helpful
it's helpful that you also
to also
open up.
open up. Oh,
You
okay.
also, you
Okay.
also,
Okay.
And then
Mm.
the third one is I mean, you have specific people you open
Mhm.
up to with regards
Mm.
to some topics
Particular
or
things.
something. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's very deep. That's very deep. Sometimes opening up becomes almost required. And I think was it last week when we're talking about the things you have, some of the things that can make a first day go well. We talked about
Mhm.
opening up. And in that case, where someone opens up to you, sometimes, it almost is a pleasant thing to also sort of open up, and sort of
Yeah.
it's a trust building thing. And so I can understand the necessity of it. Sometimes, if you want to gain people's trust, if they're opening up to you, if they're sharing things with you that are very important to them, and your particular situation can be very helpful, especially in sort of finding solutions themselves. If it's something you have been through yourself and you have
Mhm.
some very helpful tips, opening up to the person becomes necessary. It becomes a very good way to help the person through. That's very deep, Grace. If yeah, what?
Yeah.
Who?
Um, as Chris said, I also go through and then
Mhm.
I look at instances where I actually open up to people. Most often, I talk to people in the area of expertise where I'm having challenges
Mm.
or
Mm.
difficulties.
Mm.
And I look at someone that has actually been where I'm actually like
Mm.
I'm at the point. So if you
Mhm.
are ahead of me, like school, you've gone past it, like
Mhm.
what to do right after school, how to balance your
Mhm.
life, what to do. I look at people that are actually doing it properly, and then I talk to
Mm.
them and I
Mm.
ask, oh, how did you do this? What
Mhm.
what happened, how you did this?
Mhm.
It's like they're going to help you, they're going to tell you the mistake they made that they think you
Mhm.
shouldn't
Mhm.
repeat.
Okay.
And then the second instance was talking to people that were going through the same problem.
Mm.
So
Mm.
we find ourselves in the same instance, and then it's not like you're trying to look
Mhm.
for a solution, but then sort of like a comfort. You talk to someone because the person is also going through, and then you guys know, okay, I'm not alone in this. And then the last instance is, not to be overly independent. Like, I don't want to do this all by myself. I want someone
Mm.
to also
Mm.
help me out here. Yeah, so that's what I
Okay.
share.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. That's how you come up with a who. And you mentioned a few interesting things. People who are knowledgeable about whatever it is you're going through. It's
Yeah.
it's very important, right? I think in looking for people to open up to, it's one of those things we subconsciously sort of evaluate. Can it be helpful? I think if aside the fact that you just want to do it for doing sake, right? If you truly want to gain something from opening up to someone, um, evaluating or trying to understand whether or not they can truly help is important, right? And so we end up sort of thinking through and looking for people who have either gone through what we're going through, or people who would have some input, who would have some professional inputs to give. And so it's one of the who's, right? Is the person knowledgeable? Is the person, can the person relate to my situation? Because I don't think you will get a lot out of having a conversation with someone who really doesn't understand or can't even fathom what you're going through. Let's see what the comments are saying. Song is saying, go wear your glasses. Song, I think Song talks to my glasses. I think Song opens up to my glasses more. So I'm trying to get as many faces as I can. Mina said, hey Mina, welcome to the show. You guys, we always appreciate you guys coming in here. Amanda is saying, I talk to my daddy. Ooh, I think we share that in common.
Yep.
I also talk to my dad a lot, and he is a very big, I don't pay him enough to be my therapist, but he is indeed the one who plays that role of therapist for me. And for him, unfortunately, he understands most of the things. He's an expert in most of the areas I have challenges in.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, definitely I do talk to my dad too. Ikialabi said, I am an overthinker. So having someone to talk to is essential for me. But I can only open up to people I feel safe around.
Yep.
Best friend, father, boyfriend, site supervisor, and people like that. I think I can agree and I can appreciate most of what Akia is saying, right? Sometimes it helps overthinking. I think it's one of the things we didn't talk about, the whys. Sometimes you can overthink things. Sometimes the thinking through things can be so crippling that you can actually not even take an action. Sometimes you're just stuck and you play scenario after scenario. No, I don't think so. I don't
think any of us an overthinker. That's why maybe it didn't cross our minds.
Yeah, I think so too.
I
think so too. I think through things a lot. I like to spend a lot of time thinking, but I love to do. I love to act. And if yeah, and Chris, you'd know this. I'm not someone who appreciates thought and plans a lot. I appreciate actions. What are we doing? So I'm not so engulfed in the thinking through the thing. Let's go get it done.
Mm-hmm.
If there's something to be done, let's do it. And so yeah. I think I should. And it's true because it's not a trait. It didn't come to mind. But if we thank you so much. Ikea said, and talking to someone can be essential. It's a very important part. It really helps. Son said, I barely open up on issues, not because I don't have people around me, but I always think no one would understand what I'm feeling or going through. Guys, let's take a minute here and think through this.
I think I get somewhere he's coming from. Something like, I have a particular part of my life. I think it's with me and my siblings. Nobody talks about it because we feel like nobody understands. Like, if my mom offends us, we don't talk about it. Like, we try not to talk because you don't understand. And I get him. I don't talk.
I also get Song, and I think it's one of the reasons a lot of people don't open up. It's like nobody's going to get what I am feeling. But I think my comment on that would be try people. Sometimes, and I'm not saying just go about opening up to anyone, but sometimes you need help, and sometimes you might think nobody gets it. And
but nobody will get it.
No, and the funny thing is sometimes there are two people in a room going through something that they can lean on each other, they can lean into each other's experience, but they both think the other person won't get it. And it happens a lot, even sometimes in relationships, right? Where couples are not talking because they think their spouse is not going to get it. Like, there's no way she's going to understand. There's no way he's going to see things from my perspective. But so just try. Find someone you can trust, you can rely on, and just tap into them. Sometimes they may not have answers to your particular problem, but they may have something that can lead you to the problem. And like I said, sometimes you don't relay or talk to the person to get much from them, but it helps you also sort of put out the game plan. It's like when you're thinking through things, when you're going through something, and you're like, this map is it's so big, it's so ginormous, I cannot really get through it. And someone is like, draw it for me. And then you begin to put things on paper. You begin to put, this is where my house is, this is where the tree is, this is where the school is, to get from point A to. And so sort of talking through it with people it sort of, or someone helps you sort of see the situation better. And sometimes, just out of curiosity, they would ask you questions that will make you rethink. So you
Yeah.
think this won't work? Why don't you think it would work? And sometimes, and so I think it's important, and so it's very necessary.
Okay.
I always would recommend that people would find that person they can talk to and talk to. Not everybody though. If yeah.
One advice I would like to give
Mhm,
someone to is that you shouldn't look at issues like, as we said,
mhm,
we don't always talk to people because you don't even need them to understand it.
mhm,
Just someone to listen to you.
mhm, mhm,
Just someone to listen to, because sometimes
mhm,
it's too heavy to
mhm,
keep to yourself and you
mhm,
don't want to be, burdened with
mhm,
that kind of thing. Just talk
mhm,
to someone. Yeah,
mhm,
because you don't, obviously, as I said, there are some things nobody will understand. Like telling
mhm,
someone, and my mom hates me, is like,
mhm,
are you crazy? She
mhm,
carried you for 9 months and you think
mhm,
your mom hates you.
mhm,
No,
mhm,
like, it's absurd.
mhm,
But just say it so that
mhm,
you get used to it, you get comfortable with it, you
mhm,
don't bottle up and
mhm.
then be all grumpy and just talk.
And so I'm going to recommend that it's a training that I see it as therapeutic. Maybe it might help for a lot of people who don't like talking to people, who don't find talking to other people important. Sometimes talking to yourself is key. Opening up to yourself, being honest to yourself about a situation. And I do two things. I journal a lot. I write a lot. And sometimes I read
Yeah.
what I wrote when I was going through something, and I'm like, oh boy, the answer was right there. You knew the answer right there. I write out what I think is going on. Okay, so this is going wrong. This is what I think is going wrong. And I write it out. Later, I look at the notes. Song, I call it my first draft of my autobiography. I think by the time I become, somebody and I need to write about my life, I have notes about things as they were happening, right? The first draft is there. I just piece it together. And so phones have this feature. If your phone is really private, you can use the voice memo thing. Sometimes just speak into the voice memo, right? Just record it. This is today, this is what's happening. I am going to do this. I'm very anxious about it. I don't feel adequate. I don't feel like I've got this. I don't feel mentally prepared. I don't feel, and sometimes just speaking out to it, like, you go through it, you come back, you listen to it, like, this guy was anxious for nothing. You got this. Sometimes, and you can actually even sort of motivate yourself after you have opened up. Sometimes people don't admit their flaws or where they're not, sometimes. For me, for instance, when I know, listen, I don't have this, the next thing for me is to sort of figure out a way to get it right. And so for a lot of people, it can be very good being honest about the situation. This situation is it's not looking good. Then you actually find solutions. Like if I'm playing video games with Chris, for instance, and the game is not going good, lying to myself that it's going good when it's not going good doesn't help me fix it, right? But admitting, listen, if I don't do something, this could be bad. And sort of bringing that idea into the forefront, like fix it or it goes bad, helps me fix things, right? So you can do voice memos, leave voice memos for yourself, and again, there could be a very good first draft to an autobiography. Dinah is saying, when it comes to who you open up to, one needs to be careful. You wouldn't want to open up to someone with a leaking mouth. So basically, that person should earn your trust and be a confidant. I completely agree. It's one of those things. I think when we're talking about the who, we fail to bring up, but it's very important. And thanks for bringing our minds to that. You don't want to open up to just anyone, and we've been sort of being cautious with this, but yeah, you don't want to hear your very important private information out there in the streets. So yeah, you have to make sure it's someone you can confide in. Black Arabian says he's here. Black, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the show. Glenn, it's been a minute. We need to catch up sometime. Glenn said, the most people I open up to were strangers whom I knew I would never meet again. Yes, sometimes again, that's therapeutic. Sometimes you need to go find strangers, people you're not going to meet again, and just talk to them. Sometimes we all need somebody to talk to, and that's why support groups are important. Sometimes you're never going to meet each other in person, or you're never going to, and sometimes you can be very honest with them. And that's why for a long time, mental health issues have been dealt with in support groups. So Glenn, it's a good way to go. Amanda is telling Song, if you pay me, I will understand what you're going through. Money makes everything possible. So Song, Amanda is saying, hey, if you need a shrink, if you need a professional therapist, just give her some money and she would understand.
She understand.
Ecclesiastes, what, 10:19 or 11:19? Yeah, money answers all questions. Money can make all things possible, bro. So get the right money, get in touch with Amanda and she can help. A Black Arabian said, I do not open up. I am waiting for the prophets to prophesy to me one day and tell me all I've been keeping in my mind. That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. He's not trying to give anybody some ammo to go and cold read him or hot read him.
Okay.
He is saying, if you prophets are good and you're worth your salt, listen, tell him whatever he's been keeping to himself. But Black, it's important. It's important. And I think it's one of the reasons we're having the conversation. Some people need to go and talk to someone. Some people need some help. Some people are just a conversation away from their breakthrough. People are a conversation away from changing course, sitting up and being different. I shared my experience with you where one conversation changed my entire academic career. I would have been a very great average student until I met someone who just said something or who opened up to me about, listen, this is what you need to do. And it changed the entire course of my academic career. So Black, it's sometimes help. Mina said, do guys have a hard time opening up, especially when they have problems? A friend shared the same thought not long ago. Chris, what do you think? Is it a particular thing about guys? Do guys have a
I don't know. I don't know if that's all guys thing.
Guys have issues.
Yeah, I mean, for some issues it will be very easy to open up, but some issues will be very difficult.
Like
And sometimes impossible to open up.
Yeah. It's true.
Like what?
Mina,
I'm intrigued. Do people
you're
like
curious.
what?
So I'm going to sort of talk to something that I feel is a societal issue, right? We grew up in a society, again, depending on where you grew up. In Ghana, we grew up saying Bemensu, right? And some of us sort of internalize it and it becomes a big part of you. And so sometimes we feel like opening up or actually asking for help is akin to crying. It's akin to, are you the only one going through problems? Like, you're a man up, toughen up. Like, it's almost sort of frowned upon for a man to come out and talk about things they're going through. So Mina, that's what it looks like. And that's how it looks this way. And that's why these days we're really trying to push. And in November, I know you guys keep up with the post and you guys keep up with the show. Yes, in November, we have Mental Health Awareness Month for men. And it's because a lot of people go through a lot of things that society almost makes it look like you can't talk about it. No, don't you even dare. Be a man. And what does it mean?
But I'm interested in some of the topics you guys find it hard to open up about. Like, what kind of topics do you find it difficult to open up?
Failures, insecurities, inadequacies. Like, you can't do everything, but it's even built into our language, right? Man up. What does it mean, man up, right? Having a particular genitalia doesn't equip me to handle everything. Right. And so it's almost very difficult for people to admit to even to themselves that I'm not there. I can't handle this. I can't do this. But it's like, look, you gotta do it. It's almost expected. Like, for example, and this is a joke, but it's actually a very accurate representation of the situation. If your boy and I are at home at night and we're in bed and someone gets into the house, we go and tell the story the next day, everybody's going to look up to me and be like, so what did you do? But if your boy is 10 times stronger than I am, if you would beat me to the ground, but everybody's going to look at me and be like, so what did you do? Right? And it's as though you can't shy away. You can't chicken out. Like, it's almost one of those things when we talk about what are you looking for in a person, that like someone who would protect me. Honey, I didn't learn kung fu. Like, I am as weak as you. Like, if someone attacks us, we're running. Like,
no, you don't get it
soft
right.
and breakable.
I think I have. I mean, and objection or something to
Mhm,
what you're
mhm,
saying.
mhm.
So physically, yes, men are not, yeah, generally, let me put it, generally stronger than women, right? So of course, if something happens and
No,
it
you see
requires,
how the guys are
I'm
shaking their
coming,
head?
it requires physical strength, you
So
want
inaccurate.
me to
So
go and
inaccurate.
fight?
Again, it's so inaccurate. There's nothing about being, a man that makes you physically strong. I think it's a
Oh
spectrum.
god.
I think it's
And
evenly
could
distributed.
if it's
Um,
emotions, I get it. I get it when it comes to emotions. Maybe
mm-mm,
even
mm-mm,
emotions, I think
mm-mm.
women are
If
more.
yeah, if yeah, the fact that I'm a man tells you nothing about what will happen when I enter the ring with Laila Ali. She's gonna kill me. I think it's an even distribution. There are a lot of men who are stronger than me. There are a lot of men who are weaker than me, and it's the same. There are a lot of women who are stronger than me, and a lot of women who are weaker than me. I think when you take every person, they fall dead center somewhere in there. Like strongest man is stronger than a lot of men and a lot of women, and the strongest woman is stronger than a lot of women and a lot of men. Trust me, it's one of those things. I think society and all of us should try and get. Listen, being a man and a woman in a class or in a space, or even if I'm dating, it tells you nothing about what my girlfriend can do. She could be strong and listen. And so I think it's all of our jobs. All of us should start sort of disabusing our minds of that, right? It sort of puts this undue pressure on the young man, and it's why a lot of people don't open up, right? And it's funny. We do this to people even as kids, right? A kid comes back from the playground crying, and if it's a young woman, the brothers and everybody takes her in and they're going to go fight. If it's a man, sometimes in certain families they'll be like, go out there and win. If you don't win, don't come back home. Come on. We need a hug too. Sometimes all people need is a hug and a listening ear. Guys mostly find it hard to open up compared to ladies. That's what Delali is saying. Delali, that's what the conversation has been about in the past few minutes. Yeah, it's true. Society has made it that way. Rashid is saying, Kojo, you're dead on. I do not journal yet. I decide to rationalize it, doing my best to rid myself of as much emotions as possible, being objective and paying attention to actions and consequences. Rashid, you couldn't have said it better. I think it's one of those things. A lot of us think through things. We talk and we explore, and I think one of the things we don't do is paying attention to consequences. We're always looking at the actions, and sometimes it blinds us from actually looking that every action has a reaction and there are consequences to everything. Ooh, Sachi's on here. Miss Truth, you're missed. You've been missed. You've been missed both on the show and in real life. Hurry back. We need to grab some drinks very soon. The tribe misses you, but we're glad you're joining the show. Sachi said, I like this topic a lot. You are doing a great job, Sachi. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you being here. And whenever you're here, the tribe is all drinks are on the tribe. And by the tribe I mean Chris. Son said, Mina, it is true. We usually keep our emotions in check. Growing up, we're taught not to show emotions. That's so true. Some societies and communities act as though men don't even have emotions. Like, even when you're dealing with people older than you, like you could be the last child and you have 5 sisters and you are dealing with your older sister, and people like, yeah, you're the man. What does that mean? It means nothing. Like, I need help to help me. Help me. Sometimes that's all you need. You need to listen, and you need to listen. A lot of men out there need a hug. A lot of people are just a hug away from committing very horrible and atrocious things. So, like, it's important to open up. And if you have a young man walk up to you to open up, just be there like you'd be there for everyone. Morgan, I like to insert information about stuff I want to open up in the flow of conversation, comfortably, easily, and without any disruption to the back and forth of the discussion. I did not get that. But Morgan,
I think
whatever it
I think he's trying to say, so
Mhm.
he doesn't put it out like it's a problem, but like
Mhm.
he gives us like a scenario, and then as you guys are having a conversation, he puts
Okay.
in the scenario, and then you discuss it without
Ooh,
making it look like it's
it
his
is his
problem.
problem.
Yeah, so it's like
I guess I didn't get that. Oh, that's wonderful. Thanks, Efia, for clearing that up. I like to insert information about stuff I want to open up in the flow of the conversation, comfortably, easily, without disrupting the back and flow of the conversation. Thanks. Now, reading it again and with Efia's interpretation, I kind of get it. So, sort of in the conversation, he slides in whatever he wants to discuss, and he
Yeah.
tries not to. And it's very important. I think it's a key way, and it's one trick I've learned. Smart people learn to tell you about their problems without you knowing they're telling you about their problems. Right? They're able to blend it in. So
and
Morgan
they're able to
definitely.
get answers easily too.
Yep. They are
But
able to get answers.
unfortunately, if you have a good listener, they will know you're telling your problem.
Again, that is Chris's big quote. Guys, if you guys have not checked out the episode on listening, I'll leave the link in the description of this video. Go and check out Chris's episode on listening. We did an episode on listening, and Chris dropped a key that would probably stick with me for the rest of my life. He said, good listeners see what you're not saying. So sometimes they can even hear you when you're not opening up. And so, Morgan, it's a very important trick. And I think most of us can learn from that. The ability to take your issues and sort of put them in the conversation without disrupting the flow of the conversation, without being like, hey, everybody, hear me. This is my problem. Yelling it from the street corners, like finding a smart way to put it in. That's very interesting. Someone said, I remember my older sister used to beat me when we fight. When my father comes back from work and hears we fought and I lost, he beat me again for crying and losing the fight. Man, that is something. I don't know why Efia is laughing. We're talking about a guy who was beaten up. You're laughing. But yeah, unfortunately, this is not even an isolated situation. That's kind of the society a lot of us grew up in, where I know people who were beaten in class if they came second. And if it was to a man, that's fine. But if they came second to a woman, they felt like, and then I'm like, whew, guys.
Oh, I have an example of this. My first semester in high school, So, the science class is mostly like most of the students are boys, and then just a few of us are girls. And then the first semester, I didn't even know I was first. Honestly, I didn't know. So we came the next term. That was the first term, second term. Second term we came. I don't even receive my report. I don't know what is going on. They would send it home. So apparently, right, the seniors, the boys had packed our report, so they know who was first, who was second, everything, and they punished the science boys at their dormitory for allowing me to be first. I didn't know about this. The next morning they came to class very angry. I didn't know. And one of the boys told me, oh, we were punished because of you. I was like, what are you talking about? It was like, oh, you were first last term, so that was our punishment, that a lady was first in class. I was like, what?
Yep. Unfortunately,
are you
it
guys
happens.
kidding me?
Unfortunately, it happens. And again, these are some of the reasons why we've built a very skewed society. Efia is a very sharp girl. She would run everybody into the ground. And so yes. And I like how I like the cool brag. She's like, hey, I was first. She told us she was first without telling us she was first. She seamlessly inserted into the conversation.
No, please.
But yeah, all of you who know Efia boy, you guys should know she is a matador in terms of.
Please don't do this.
Rashid said he needs a good listener, one who can decipher that he's talking about himself, yet not make it very obvious. It's true. And Morgan, I'm sure, surrounds himself with people who are smart and intelligent enough to decipher it. And not making it obvious. So I think it's a two-way advice I'm getting here. Not only should I be able to seamlessly put in my trouble in a conversation, but if I do spot it, I should not make it known, make it obvious. Efia the Brella, it's true. For guys, those who do not know, Efia Yeboah was a contestant in the National Maths and Science quiz for her school. I think, where did you guys get to? Semi-squatters? Efia, what level did you get to?
We are not talking about it.
No, we are talking about it. Let us know what level you got to.
Oh, good. Quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals, exactly.
2015.
quarterfinals. So she was in the quarterfinals of the Maths and Science quiz. Sharp girl, sharp girl. Sachi said, I think it's a weird thing genetically. Oh, I think it's a wired thing genetically in men that they are supposed to protect everyone and make sure
Yeah.
not to show emotions. That's why they find it hard to open up. Hopefully, it changes with time. I don't know about genetically, but I think it's genetic in human beings to protect. And I think it's even more, if we're talking the biology of it, I think it's even more in women to protect than it is in men, right?
Well, no,
There's
no,
a
Kojo,
gene of
it's in women to protect
their offsprings, their
babies, yes,
children. Yeah,
and
it's
then
true.
it's in men to protect women and babies.
I don't know about it being genetically wired, but I know about that connection between a mother and a child, and you see it not just in the human species. You go try and take a chicken's a hen's chicks. She would show you what a mother's protection feels like. You would feel the wrath of the mother. Try it with an eagle if you want to take the stakes high. But yeah, I think definitely a lot of people and whether it's right or wrong, Sachi, I think I agree with the last sentiment. Hopefully it changes. Hopefully as we get better with our gender relations, right? As we do better in understanding that, listen, being a man doesn't mean that, and being a woman doesn't mean that. And we try to do better and treat each other with respect and sort of understand the differences in our genders and the things that we need to work on as a society. I'm hopeful that things will change. I couldn't be more hopeful. I think we're living right on the verge where things get better. At least one can hope. I'm hoping things get better from here. Hey, Efia Brella, guys, please, this is a new name, Efia Brella. I don't know if we're going to make it Efia Brella, but yeah, she is a Brella girl.
I want please, I want Efia Boo. I don't want
Efia what?
Efia Boo.
Efia, if we call you Efia Boo, what is your boyfriend going to call you? I don't know why we should. But let's get back in the conversation. Thank you guys for bringing your comments. We really appreciate it. And if you have any more comments, please leave them in the comment section. Like, we're really having fun. And like I said, this is a conversation where we're going to be doing the show with you. And so I did put my glasses on because my eyes was beginning to hurt. I was straining them too much. So now I have my glasses back on. But let's get back into the conversation. I think there's another part of opening up that I want us to explore a lot more.
Okay.
As we open up, right, like almost everything in life, there are costs to opening up, right? It comes at a cost. It's not free. Opening up is expensive. And often it is expensive to the person listening to you, the person trying to provide solutions, the person trying to give you, the person you're confiding in. Guys, Chris, do you guys actively consider what it costs the person who you're talking to? What?
Honestly, I never considered it until I opened up to someone recently about an issue. It was a very big issue. After opening up, I think after a month or two, I was able to overcome the whole situation, and I was moving on very free, moving on freely. But anytime I speak to the person, I realize the person still have that in mind. The person brings that up, like tries to talk to me about it. Then I realize, no, the thing is, even though it was my problem, the thing is weighing the person down in some way. So that is when it occurred to me that no, opening up to someone about something can also, I mean, be a burden on the person.
On them. That is so true. That is so true. You do make a very interesting point. And it's one of those things I think a lot of us don't weigh on. And your example sort of clearly outlines it. When you tell someone your issue, when you tell someone your problem, it becomes their problem, especially if they love you and they care about you and they really want to see you succeed. Now it becomes their problem too. So now that's one of the costs of sharing or opening up to someone. You see, your problem no longer becomes your problem. If they truly care, it becomes our problem. They're also looking for solutions. They're also trying to help you. They're also trying to, if it's a win, they're also trying to chase that win too. And it's one of those things that come with it. It's something a lot of us don't take time to sort of evaluate or consider before we talk to someone. And like Chris was saying, he had moved past it. Sometimes you can move past it, and then they are there, sort of, it's weighing on them. Efia, do you have more to add to this? Because I think there's something we all have to learn.
I, to be honest, I don't even think about the cost. Like,
Aj, Aj,
I
that's
just
so
talk to
honest.
them,
That
and
is so
then
honest.
yeah, I don't. I've not even thought of it before. Like, how is the person taking it? The person fine? I don't. I really don't. I
Which
just
is
talk
so
to you, and
honest.
that's it.
That is very honest, and I think that's what a lot of people do. We don't consider the people we're talking to. We're not trying to see what it does to them. And I'll give you a good example. In the practice of law, lawyers try to follow a very simple rule: don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. If you're going to give someone your best defense, sometimes not knowing whether or not they did the work is very important, because it comes with a burden. If Chris commits a crime and I'm supposed to defend him in court, and I'm genuinely going to give him my best, I may not necessarily need to know whether or not he committed a crime.
Yeah.
If I know, I may not be able to confidently, and I may not be able to do my job. It's a very tricky thing. And
you think so?
oh yes. So if Yayawa commits some crime, like she steals from Chris, and I am a fierce lawyer, and I don't know if Ifya did it, I can look at all the possible explanations for the disappearance of whatever it is. I can give her my best defense, clearing my conscience that anybody could have done it. But the minute I am certain that she did it, it all has to be drama from there. I have to give her my best defense, but it's going to be drama, knowing very well that she stole it. And that is the cost. That is the cost of knowing. That is the cost of knowing. And the truth is, sometimes you cannot unknow things. And so when you go and pour out on someone, when you go and open up to someone, they begin to, if they care. Sometimes people don't care and they just move on. But if Chris came to tell me, Kojo, I am going to pursue this job, I really need it to work, things are not going so well, if this doesn't go well, I'm really screwed. The rest of the day, I am going to be invested in Chris doing well. I'm going, how did it go? I hope everything, because it almost becomes as though both of our lives depends on it. And that effort, that thing, that mental contribution is the cost of opening up to someone. And like Ifya said, a lot of people don't consider it. We don't even think about it. We go, we talk about our issue and we go away. Yeah. And I think that's why therapists charge per the hour, and you charge a lot. Because, I mean, for them, they are trained, they're professionals. But a lot of people are not trained. And I bring this up and the cost up to angle the conversation into sort of relationships. Sometimes people believe their partner should listen to them, should be there, it should be my person, my personal person. I should be able to talk to them about everything. I should be able to open up to them. But we don't evaluate the cost and whether or not they can handle it, whether or not they can bear that cost. Because think about it. If you have a partner who has issues of their own, right? And you open up about something that's very heavy, something that's really, that goes on top of their own burden. And sometimes your opening up could be the straw that broke the camel's back. They're juggling so much together, and then you're just opening up as a lovely
but
boyfriend.
Then maybe the person can take it in.
Oh yeah. Sometimes they can, but sometimes they can't. No, but I'm not even saying that to dissuade us from opening up to people, but to appreciate having people we open up to. Yeah. Sometimes we take the people we open up to for granted. We take it as what did they do? They just listen to my issue. But it's a very big task we put on them, and that's why we need to appreciate the people we talk to, the people we open up to. If you do have someone like that, it's very important to look at these costs and appreciate them and see what they bring to the table. Someone that, to bring that question, what do you bring to the table? A listening ear is very expensive. A listening ear is sometimes more expensive than a loaded bank account. Someone who you can think through your professional, personal, psychological, emotional, and social issues with sometimes is way bigger than a bank account, because I tell you, about 90% of our problems you can't throw money at and let it go away. Sometimes you need a wise counsel Sometimes you need someone
Kojo,
who
it's a
has your
problem.
interest at
Me, my
heart.
problem, 90% of them is money. If I get money,
Boy, yeah,
I'm
boy.
I'm out of here.
Okay, I think so. If you're there, she said 90% of her problems are money. You guys, what do you guys also think? Do you guys think money can solve your Chris? What percentage of your problems can be solved with a healthy bank account?
For me, I think if you personally,
Uh-huh.
if you are doing the right thing and you follow, the right track, you have your own money, and then
The
You
guy
don't have
has
any
run away
problem.
from the question. I'm asking you personally, how much of your problems at the moment do you think can be solved with a healthy bank account?
at this moment,
At the moment.
just something small.
Just something. I agree.
Maybe
You
just
see,
$1 million to be fine.
just 1 million. Just 1 million should cover a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, then your problems are really minimal. If you put
Yeah.
a number to it, how much do you think would solve?
I don't.
Okay, we'll go and think about it. Chris said $1 million. So, guys, we're going to start a GoFundMe for $1 million to help solve Chris's issues. I'm not going to do that. Get away. Okay. Son said it is expensive. That's why Amanda is. Yeah, it's true.
Oh my
Opening up
God.
is expensive. Having someone to open up to is very important. Salvatore said a listening ear is very expensive. Ellie, it's true. A listening ear is very, very expensive. Kasa Podcast 2022. Yeah, use the hashtag. It helps a lot. Okay. Ike Alabi said, that's a hard one because you cannot know what others are holding if they themselves do not open up. Question then, how can you make those who need to open up feel safe around us? That's very important. That's very important. We're going to dive into that. We talked about, and I think Dee mentioned it at the beginning, right? Being a confidant, making sure the person you're opening up is a confidant. But how do we put ourselves in a position where people can open up to us? We're going to dive into that. I would read the last comment. Chris, $1 million pay. I got you, Jack. Ikialabi's got you. And so, Chris, after the show,
Mine is fine.
I
think now I can put a number to it.
Let Chris stay in the limelight.
Yes.
Chris, after the show, I'll give you Christine's contact, Ikialabi's contact, and then you guys can work it out. I think she got you. And she when she says she's got you, she's got you. She's got you. I know she's got it. But let's think about the question Christina asked. How can we make those who need to open up feel safe around us? Chris, how can we do that? What are some of the things we can do to make people who need to feel safe around us and people who need to open up around us open up finally?
First of all, I'll say our history of how we handle issues. Especially your own personal issues, how you handle your personal issues. And with the history, it has to do with how you divulge issues to others, how you even approach issues, how you talk to people. Are you a loudmouth person, or as Dee said, someone with a leaking mouth? Those are very important things. But for me, I think the most important is your history with how you handle issues.
That's such a deep thing, your history. If you really want to make yourself someone who people can open up to, you need to create a good history. You need to create a reputation. I would go with that. A reputation, doing something over and over again that you're known for it. You're known to be someone people can trust. You're known to be someone who people can open up to. You're known to be someone people can come to you and expect that what they're sharing with you would not only stay between you, but would also yield results. A reputation. So Christine, if you want to be someone, you want people to feel safe around you, create a reputation. And that is done by doing it one time and repeating it over and over and over again. What are some of the things we can do?
First, for me, I think one thing we should consider is not judging. I think a lot of people think, listening is it's a skill that sometimes it doesn't come to you naturally. You have to learn to do it. And people do, like, your perspective is not just what is happening. So when someone approaches, people have to see that you're not a judgmental person. That way
You're not
they're
going to judge
comfortable.
them.
Yeah, they're comfortable opening up to you, and then they know, you're not gonna judge. The most important thing is don't judge me.
Don't judge.
Just listen. And then also paying attention. People get comfortable when they see you allow them to, when you're able to give them the attention. I mean, a lot of people like to talk about themselves. So just give them the room to talk and see them say everything. Yeah, they get comfortable when you give them the space to talk. Yeah, I think that's
that has a little conniving spin to it, but it's true. But I'm going to share something about the judgment part, and I'm going to share a conversation Efia Boy and I had 2 days ago. So I was having a conversation with Efia Boy, and some parts of the conversation was tricky. And Efia said something, and to me, she didn't need to say it, and this is why. She said, "I'm not going to judge you." But in my interaction with Efia, for as long as I've known her, I have never felt the need or the fear of being judged. Because I think there are few people on the planet I can open up to about almost everything. And she's one of them. She knows it because she knows way too much. She actually even said it that day. I know way too much. And it's because I'm comfortable. I know she's not going to judge me. There's nothing I would say to Efia, and Efia will be like, "Okay, I'm never going to speak to you again, or you're dead to me, or like, and that's how you get people to open up to you, right? Building that reputation of not judging. And it's hard, and it doesn't come easy. Sometimes we judge people, not even with the words we say, even our facial expressions are so sententious. Like, you just say something and then you see them and sometimes the way so Christine was asking, how do we make people feel safe around us by not having too many walls? Some people have so many walls around them. There's no way anybody is going to feel safe around you. They are guarded. They come across as the most pristine, perfect people. They have no problems, right? MI said,
oh, so he dropped out, and we are going to continue as usual. I think he's back.
Okay.
It's wild. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. But MI said something in a song, right? And he said, "Of the sheep, I'm blackest," right? And it's important to sort of make people know, hey, I'm not perfect. I'm not a white sheep. Listen, I have problems too. I have issues too. Sometimes it helps people open up to you, right? When they know, like, listen, I'm not going to talk to a saint. I'm not going to be talking to the Pope. I'm talking to a human being just like me. And so judging people is very important, right? Making people feel not judged. And another thing is making people feel heard. If you really want people to open up to you, let them feel heard. And if you don't know how to make people feel heard, you really should check out the episode on listening. Chris taught us so much. Efia and the rest of the tribe taught us so much. Sometimes active listening makes people want to open up to you. And it's something I learned on the show, and I think I do it all the time. I know Black Arabia made a comment about it on the last episode, the way I'm always like, the background. Making people know you're listening, paying attention, asking the right questions helps people open up to you. Again, sorry for the technical glitch, but we're back. So Christine, I hope we offered some solutions to your questions. Song is saying you need to be an empathetic person. People need to be able to know you feel their pain. Absolutely important. If people are going to open up to you, you have to have some skin in the game. And this is why it's expensive. Empathy is tough. Really feeling other people's pain. I always share this. I'm like, it's one of the reasons I could not go to med school. When I see somebody in pain, I literally feel the pain too. When I feel someone's leg is broken, like I can literally feel my leg. So it's so bad. Like I am hypochondriac to the fault. But it's that kind of feeling you should have if people are going to open up to you. They have to believe that you can feel their pain. There are so many people in the world. I would give another example, like Bernard, Lelo. When things are not going right with Lelo and he talks to me about it, I am legit not going to be fine, right? There's that connection, right? There's sometimes you're able to build that emotional connection with someone that their happiness becomes your happiness and their pain becomes your pain. And sometimes it is key if you're going to find solutions. If you're talking to people who are not on the same wavelength, if they're not that invested in your success as you are, they might not find the solutions. Like, Chris comes and talks to me about how he's going to academically excel. I am right on there because I feel like if Chris doesn't make it, I am failing too. So, like, that connection, that bond is very important. Rashid said, listening is a skill. Consciously paying attention, focusing on respect, empathy, and sympathy during and after the discussion. Key, after the discussion. I recommend a TED Talk on listening in general by Julian Treasure. Yeah, that TED Talk by Julian Treasure, we talked about it on our TED episode. It is a very good TED Talk. If you haven't seen it, look for the TED Talk by Julian Treasure on listening. It's key. It's a very important one. But I don't want us to lose sight of a very important key Rashid dropped during and after the discussion. Sometimes the key to people opening up to you is what you do after they've discussed something with you. Sometimes you might do all the right things. You might say all the right things. You might be a great listener. But after it, you're just absolutely sometimes following up. Sometimes, like, someone shares something with you and you follow up. Hey, so you talked about going to do this. How did it go? Oh, you talked about your mother not doing well. How's she doing? That follow-up question can change a lot. It would make them know whether or not they're going to come to you again or not. So don't just be a good listener during the conversation, but after the conversation, that 1 or 2 follow-up is very important. Someone said, you need to be a problem solver or a solution provider. Christine, these are all answers to you. If you want people to feel safe around you and talk to you, you need to be a problem solver or a solution provider. You shouldn't just be a listener, but you need to sometimes provide solutions and recommendations. It couldn't have been better said, Song. It couldn't have been said any better. That is so deep. I would clip this part. I'm going to read it again and clip it for something later. You need to be a problem solver or a solution provider. You shouldn't just be a listener, but you need to sometimes provide solutions and recommendations. Song, thank you so much for that key. It's one of the keys of this episode. Thank you so much. It's deep. Yeah, but if you want people to open up to you, you have to actively provide solutions or recommendations. Don't listen for listening's sake. Be a problem solver. Rashid said the irony, talking about opening up and your window is closed. Don't leave me. I know. Rashid, my window closed though. I was talking about opening up and my window just closed. And yeah, it's one of those things. Tech can just, they didn't want me to open up. I was about to tell you all the stories about opening up to Chris, but now that my computer won't allow it, we're going to probably wrap up the segment. I think we've had a very wonderful conversation about opening up. I've learned so much from Song, Rashid, Abena, Ekia, Salvatore, and all the people in the chat. And Chris has been dropping gems as usual. But before we go, today was the last day of the season, so I'm going to give Efia the chance to do her happy dance. If
you don't give me the chance, I'll give myself the chance. Because
you have a minute. Celebrate. Do whatever you want to do. I can't let the show end without letting you celebrate.
So we won the EPL. Do people know?
Oh, if I thought you were a Barcelona fan. I thought you were going to celebrate.
Yeah, I also support City. What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought it was Barca today. Barca was second.
Oh, God,
you guys were second. Isn't that what you're going to celebrate?
At least we were at the finals. That's okay. We tried. We did our best. Okay. Now let's talk about winning. Okay, that's the most important part.
We can talk about when you actually win.
Kojo, I won. Okay, Pep won the Premier League.
Are you a
So
Barca fan or a Pep fan?
a Pep fan, that's the thing.
What
Are
is
you a Barca
what is you people your problem? Allow me to answer the question.
Okay.
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 I'm a Barca fan and I love Pep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why are you saying we won the Premier League?
Because my lover won the Premier League.
And
Automatically I won.
Okay. Congratulations on winning the Premier League. Pep
you.
lover.
And then what happened to Manchester United today? Like, what is happening?
What has Manchester got to do with Man City? We didn't play with Man City.
No, but today was
Just
the last
celebrate. But celebrate your Man City and go away.
You guys,
Oh.
like, to the last day, you guys were trash. Till the last day.
Yes, I
Today,
mean, we're
Crystal
keeping it
Palace.
consistent.
Jesus Christ.
Evia, what did you expect? We love to be consistent. Manchester United, we're a club of consistency. When we are
Jesus
failing, we fail
Christ.
consistently.
But Kojo, I think this is not even news. We
I
shouldn't
know.
be talking about
I
this.
know. We
but
gave you
this
the
is
chance to
Crystal
celebrate your
Palace.
win. You're coming to
This
talk
is
about Man U.
Crystal. I'll talk about you people next
So
week.
Man U is
Let me
so
talk
important
about.
to Evia that she cannot celebrate her winning the league without talking about Man U. I'm
I had
surprised.
to chip in there because everybody is happy and the Manchester United is like 1-0. I'm like, wow.
Who said we are not happy about it? We saw a new coach in the stadium. Eric Ten Hag is coming. Next season, we're going to see different things.
His face was like, oh god.
Yeah,
Like,
because he knows there's work ahead.
Yeah,
He didn't come here to make money. He came here to work.
Right.
We're here to use him
oh
and
my
his services.
god, you guys. Aston Villa was giving me heart attack the first half. I could not breathe. I just stopped watching the match just so I could be okay.
I was happy that they gave Liverpool a little slither of hope and then they extinguished it.
I mean,
Because
it's nice when you're not invested, especially when your team is losing. You can watch from afar and then say that, but not when I'm invested. You cannot be doing that
the
to me.
But
shade.
if have you noticed anything in this? Football season.
What is it?
Anything can happen in just few minutes.
Some few minutes. Like
Like,
some few minutes.
Few minutes. And
When
then-
I check, when I have my notification on for Man City on SofaScore.
Okay.
So when it came, was like the notification came. Some few minutes later, it came. I'm
It
like,
came.
wait, am I seeing it right? And then 3 goals.
I think
Oh
within
my
6 minutes
God.
they scored 3 goals.
Oh my god,
Yep.
I could not breathe. I'm like, what?
I think again, this is something we can all learn about life, right? A lot can
Yeah.
change. One
Yeah,
minute
right.
you're in the lead, and then the next your title hopes are going away. And congrats if you're on winning
Thank you.
the Premier League.
Thank you.
I think we have to give credit where it's due. Man City played some wonderful football. I look at their stats and they scored 99 goals in the season. I think that's beautiful. I think the goal difference, and again, this is why Manchester United had no business being in the conversation this season. I think we ended up with a goal difference of 0. So Man United scored exactly as many goals as we conceded. I have never seen that before. We had no business being in the conversation. Man City had a goal difference of plus 73. They scored 99 goals and they had a goal, so they conceded less than 20 goals. And that is a team that deserves to be there, right? Liverpool has a goal difference of plus 68. Chelsea has a goal difference of plus 43. I think there are people, even West Ham, who is below Man U in the league, has a goal difference of plus 9. So they scored more goals than they conceded. Man U conceded as many goals as they scored. I think talk about
Has this happened to you guys before?
I don't think it's ever happened. I don't think we've even had a goal difference of plus 10. Like it's 5-star poor, and this is why I don't think, like Chris said, it's not news that they did terribly. But again, congrats on your win.
Thank you.
I think next season is going to be more exciting. I think we're going to keep up. All the best with your Champions League bid. I think that's what City fans are now looking for. I think the league is nothing new for them. Make it to the Champions League, and maybe Pep would be respected and appreciated some
what
more.
are you talking about?
Some more.
Pep has
some more.
Champions League, just
Some
not with
more.
City.
That's what I
but
said. I said some more.
No, you don't even have to say that.
People can't let us talk about their Pep. Guys, that has been our show. Thank you so much for joining the Kasa podcast. We love and appreciate every one of you for joining the show. We thank you for the comments that came in. And once again from the tribe, it's
Bye.
bye. Catch you in the next one.